Welcome back to urcooked reviews. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Bullet Train, an in-depth analysis in which we try to convince the viewer to believe that it should have won Movie of the Year over Everything Everywhere All at Once. Now, my name is Emilio, and I'm here with
Jesus.
Assad.
And Giancarlo.
Now, we wanted to start off by explaining the plot and going to like a review of the characters. Now, the main character of the film is Ladybug, and he's played by Brad Pitt. He is an assassin that has been told to go into a bullet train in Japan to retrieve a suitcase. A whole gimmick of his character is just that he's unlucky, but also lucky at the same time. Therefore, his name Ladybug.
So another character from the movie and the plot is Tangerine and Lemon, which they're not technically brothers, but they're considered brothers in the movie. They're both played by Aaron Taylor and Brian Tyree, and they are assigned to deliver a suitcase from a character called the White Death and their son to like deliver them across the bullet train,
Right.
which doesn't end up going well because their son dies in the first couple minutes of the movie, and the suitcase gets stolen by Ladybug also in the first like 10-20 minutes of the movie.
Right.
The one who actually kills the White Death son is the Hornet, played by Zazie Beetz. She was actually hired by the White Death to kill his son and to steal the suitcase.
Yeah. So the next character we're going to be explaining is Prince, who's played by the actress Joey King. Prince is actually the daughter of the White Death, who we will be elaborating on later. And she pretty much wants to kill her father because she believes she was neglected as a child and her father favored her brother over her.
Right. Now, the White Death himself is played by Michael Shannon, and he blames Carver, the assassin that Ladybug took over for, because Ladybug is filling in. He blames Carver, Lemon, Tangerine, the Hornet, and his own son for his wife's death. So, he orchestrates the entire bullet train event as he hires them in hopes that they would kill each other on the job. That doesn't end up working out.
Also, another character that's important is the Elder, who ties in with his son, which we'll also talk about. And the actor. Well,
His actor is played by, the actor is Hiroyuki Sanada.
yeah, and overall, his whole
And
point
another-
in the plot, his whole like goal and overall motive in the plot is to save his son, which is Yuichi, and avenge his wife by killing the White Death, which was the cause of both of the deaths.
And as Sue's already mentioned, Yuichi Kimura, he's played by Andrew Koji, and he was basically he was puppeteered by Prince to like get closer to the White Death because she wants to kill him, and she did that by pushing his son off the roof and then leaving a note in the hospital that he was in to come to the bullet train.
Right. Now,
Lastly,
oh yeah, go ahead.
we going over the Wolf, who's played by the rapper Bad Bunny, and he pretty much wants to kill Carver for killing his wife and everybody at his wedding through poisoning. So pretty much in his wedding, everyone drank wine and had poison in it, so they died, except the main character
Ladybug. And Bad Bunny
Ladybug.
himself, yeah.
And Bad Bunny. Yeah, Ladybug didn't die because he spilt the wine, so he thought that Ladybug was the one that killed everyone by poisoning, but he got it wrong. It was the Hornet.
Right. So after talking about all these characters and all these stories convoluted into the train, we realize that there's going to be a lot of flashbacks, a lot of explanations, and all of that. It's also important to note that the whole story is orchestrated by the White Death, and that's like the whole point of the film. Now, I wanted to get into cinematography in order to further explain the what's it called? How should I say it? The attractiveness of the film. Now, the cinematography gives a very animated feel to it. It doesn't stop at where the viewer just understands what's going on. It goes beyond and makes the scene look enjoyable and unique. This happens with almost every scene in the movie, whether it be a transition, establishing shot, or just portraying it in general. So tell us a bit about the LEDs.
Yeah, so the LED panels, just to give a brief summary on it, they give somewhat of a comedic and animated feel to the movie. And throughout the entire movie, it's filmed on a train set. So the LED panels really help to advance the plot and give a better feel to the viewer.
Right. Now,
So I
Jesus, do you
want
wanna-
to talk something regarding about the colors in the film used. So the movie uses over 25 different colors grading techniques in order to acquire like the intended mood of the scene. The reason for this is for all the different settings and the time frames within the film. So like things like the Fiji water scene, like shows the bottle of Fiji. Actually, let me give this to someone who could probably explain this better.
Yeah,
So
because I handpicked these scenes and I wanted to go over them. So Fiji water scenes, the Fiji water scene, it's a whole gimmick in the movie that the Fiji water itself is a character. So after a lot of the movie has been been portrayed, it's shown that the Fiji water was actually a big part of the actions that occurred. So it shows a close-up face tracing shot of, it's just a flashback of all of what happened. Another scene is White Death taking over the Yakuza. It just showcases him walking across the grounds while there's fire and people getting killed. It uses a dolly shot. Another notable shot in the scene is the White Death rolling the chamber of a revolver, and a close-up shot while rain is pouring down on the subject. It just shows the passion that went into it. And due to the film's pattern of flashbacks and introducing different settings through the story, the movie uses establishing shots a lot. A notable scene is when the elder is waiting to board the train at Maibara Station. It shows like the whole station and a really cool shot of him. An example of various establishing shots being used in storytelling is when the backstory for the wolf was being presented in short, lasting shots, in which the establishing shots proved essential in portraying the mood, because throughout his whole backstory, he was like in different moods. Another notable part of the movie is the fighting taking place while the train is breaking apart and derailing. In order to bring such action-packed visuals, an incredible amount of CGI was used. But in combination with the tracking shot and CGI, the movie gives the viewer a beautiful sequence where Brad Pitt is flying between the derailing train carts as everything is tumbling down and stuff like that.
Yeah, just to elaborate on what Emilio said, I want to give a few examples in where CGI is used. So in every fight scene, CGI is used, but just to be specific, there was one in which the elder stuck his sword inside of his opponent. It actually went through his face and he pulled it back out. Another scene would be the debris flying from the swords all throughout the train, and how the top of the train was actually blown off and they continued fighting.
Right.
All right. So, now that we got cinematography out the way, I wanted to talk about choreography, which is something that takes like a majority of the movie.
Right.
It being because it's action. So, the overall Bullet Train features like 5 different assassins with different fighting styles from all over different countries. And they also emphasize on practical effects and don't really use CGI for many of the realistic action scenes. I want to talk about one of the fighting styles, which is from our main character, Brad Pitt, who plays Ladybug, which he, at first of the movie, he was given a gun, but he doesn't think that's the right way of, he doesn't like the idea of using a gun. So throughout the majority of the movie, he uses the suitcase in his hands, or objects he finds around, and overall he uses those, and it's kind of a comedic relief because he's the only person that's fighting without an actual weapon. But yeah,
I wanted to get into that because a lot of the other characters they pick up their fighting styles from the place they're from. So the Bad Bunny's character, the wolf, he picks up the fighting style from Mexico, and he mainly uses a knife. The White Death uses a katana, and so does the Elder because they're both from Japan. Tangerine and Lemon, they use guns because they're mainly from America. Just wanted to get that out of the way.
Yeah, it's like a mix of
and then the
cultures.
horn.
Yeah.
And
And the Hornet.
poison.
Yeah, she uses poison because her venom fighting style. But yeah, go on.
And that's actually how she killed the White Death's son.
Right.
The actors in this movie, they take a 16-week training camp in order to learn all the skills needed for the movie. And that just goes to show how committed they are to providing their viewers with a real authentic cinematic experience.
I also wanted to add on that a lot more goes into choreography than what we really actually notice. So like even down to the costumes, because throughout the film, each character has like their own like different type of clothing, from like suits to robes and all that stuff. But not everyone, it's not comfortable enough to record in those. So they create costumes that are flexible but still have the visually appealing appearance to record the movie.
Now I want to go into the reviews. Many of the reasons people give as to why Bullet Train shouldn't have won movie of the year was the uninspired and boring script. But they failed to see that that was the point. Brian Tyree Henry, who played Lemon, he said that all entertainment today is twists, violence, drama, and it doesn't have a message. He's basically saying that every like movie that comes out it relies on plot twists, on surprises, and there's no really message to learn. Bullet Train is just supposed to be a story to enjoy.
I wanted to be more specific with that. I think that's just with action movies, not like movies in general that come out like these years. But yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add on. The script was supposed to feel different from all other movies that came out in previous titles, such as the movie of the year, Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. While this movie relies on plot twists, such as the daughter of the main protagonist being the main antagonist, Bullet Train relies on its witty dialogue along with its beautifully choreographed fight scenes and its many overarching narratives that overall help build up an overall story, and where each character's decisions and actions play a bigger role and have an impact, like a more so impact than the viewer might think.
Yeah, and instead of a long drawn out plot where there's a ton of twists and turns, where each character has their own motives, like in Everything Everywhere All at Once, Bullet Train makes one overarching narrative. That's to either secure the briefcase or kill the White Death. Almost every character has one of these two goals. Lemon, Tangerine, Hornet, and Ladybug, they all want the briefcase. And then Prince and the Elder, they want to kill the White Death. While others may think it's boring, I think it's different and it's innovative and it's creative, and it doesn't follow like the unwritten rules of movies.
Right.
So I wanted to give a brief summary on the movie that won movie of the year. So Everything Everywhere All at Once is a fiction film by directors Daniel K. Wan and Daniel Schiernet, known as the Daniels. The film revolves around Evelyn Wang, a Chinese-American laundromat owner who embroiled in a mundane life. She roped into a journey across the multiverse to prevent its destruction by her own daughter. But, with the assistance of her different versions of husbands, throughout the multiverse, Evelyn discovers that her powers, her power keeps us sort of us changing from across different realities.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. Yeah, she just basically she access memories and abilities from her alternate versions. So if she needs to fight, she'll go into a version where she's a ninja or something. But
yeah,
the reason why I think it's better than the reason why I think Bullet Train is better than Everything Everywhere All at Once is to start off, the cinematography is just it just isn't as good as Bullet Train. When Evelyn is teleported or transported to another universe, the transition is wonky and it looks as if the shot was just simply just a sped up version of a clip of her flailing her arms, which I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. And also the resolution was a big problem too. After Evelyn is convinced nothing matters and goes on a little on a rampage doing horrible things in different universes, one being stabbing her own husband, she reverts when her husband is simply just kind to her. and Evelyn then goes on to try fix everything that she's done in the other universes, and fixes her life by finding out that she chooses who she cares about, even though nothing matters. Now the ending would be fine if it wasn't so cheesy, and had Evelyn simply take back all her beliefs, and just because of her husband's kindness. Like, it doesn't really make sense. But in Bullet Train, the circumstances and ending were like from pure reason. For example, like, massive spoiler alert, by the way. Like, actually, like, this is a big spoiler. Tangerine's death, where he is shot in the neck, it's realistic, and it comes to drive. Like, it's realistic when it comes to drive and goals that the characters have, and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I couldn't agree anymore. Overall, like, a lot in the movie, Everything All at Once, a lot of supposed impactful moments don't really feel like it, but in the film Bullet Train, it almost feels as if like every moment that is meant to be meaningful and affect the viewer really is. It hurts, like Emilio said, Tangerine dies, but as the viewer, you genuinely feel like it's almost as if like you genuinely lost like your own brother from the other perspectives.
Oh yeah, and another thing I noticed is the choreography in both movies. And Bullet Train is beautiful. Like, the choreography in Bullet Train is just chef's kiss. It's really good. But in Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's so
very
artificial.
messy.
It's like, there was this one scene where an alternate version of the husband smacks a cop with a fanny pack, and the cop just goes flying across the room, and it's like what? Like, it doesn't make sense, and it's not because he had superpowers or anything. It's just like, it was an actual like fight that was supposed to, like,
feels just like
place. Yeah,
it almost just feels like as a whole, it's just not like choreographed. I don't know what I'm saying.
It just
feels sloppy.
Yeah.
Everything just feels like a bunch of like scratch papers put together. It just doesn't feel good.
All right.
And while some people may say, "Oh, it's not supposed to be real," "Oh, the movie's obviously fiction," as Jesus said, he doesn't have superpowers. There's no way you're sending someone flying 20 feet back with a fanny pack when you get hit in the face. It's just unrealistic.
Right.
Yeah, but aside from that not being the main point, overall, Bullet Train just basically does everything better. Everything is more impactful. Everything just is more meaningful.
But yep, thank you for listening to our podcast. We recommend that you watch the movie Bullet Train, and that is all from Your Cooked Reviews.
Your Cooked Reviews.
All right.